Okay, so we're not against weed and we don't think it's harmful to bodybuilding at all. So that's cool.
Yeah, tons of guys do it.
What's up guys, Derek, moreplates.com. Today we're going to be talking about, does smoking weed hurt your gains? Notably, if you're using it to help you go to sleep. This is something that timestamp was sent to me from the podcast Fouad Abiad does, where he had Ian Vieira on, and they talk about smoking weed and if it's going to hurt bodybuilding outcomes. So here they talk about their stance on it, and I'll kind of interject after and give my opinion.
Let's see. Thoughts on bodybuilders that smoke weed. Have you ever, and are you against weed, and what's your opinion on it?
I smoke weed every day.
Do you really?
Before bed, only at night, yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I did that for a little while just to had some back pain. I didn't want to take a bunch of Advil.
Yeah.
I actually started eating gummy bears just to kind of kill the pain, and I'd pass out.
Yeah. No, I just I'll do usually before my fifth or sixth meal and have my meal, and I eat it in 2 milliseconds, and I relax on the couch for a bit and have my last meal and go to bed.
Yeah, I couldn't do it. Could you do it regularly, like just sitting around?
No, I can't do it during the day.
Yeah.
0%. If I have I couldn't leave the house high. There's no way.
Yeah. Okay. We're the same then that way, I think.
It's only when I know, usually when Melissa's already gone to bed and I'm the only person awake and I'm just chilling, eating my food, watching, Netflix or whatever. I'd like to be in solitude for that usually.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
So,
she makes fun of me when I'm high too. So
yeah, so it's better when, yeah, I can't handle that.
yeah.
Okay, so we're not against weed and we don't think it's harmful to bodybuilding at all. So that's cool.
Yeah. Tons of guys do it.
So they basically talk about how Ian uses it every single night and he thinks there is no deleterious outcomes on bodybuilding results whatsoever. And he knows lots of guys who do it. And, how negligible is it? I just kind of want to lay out the science as far as giving you a more clear idea, because I think there may be a deleterious impact to your bodybuilding results, and I'll explain why. So typically when you use it acutely, intermittently, once in a while, you're going to experience benefit from a reduced sleep latency standpoint. So that means you're going to fall asleep easier, quicker. When you actually lie down, put your head on the pillow, are you going to get to sleep? That's your sleep latency. It has seemingly no impact, positive or negative, on sleep duration with intermittent use. However, it has a very potent negative effect on REM sleep duration, which is the dream sleep stage. So if you know rapid eye movement, if you know anything about the sleep stages, I guess the most common ones that are known are just non-REM, just straight up normal sleep. Then you have REM, and then you have deep. And basically REM is a critical component of sleep that is necessary for learning, memory consolidation, mood regulation, very notably, and not being very deprived of REM sleep can lead to a lot of irritability, mood swings, depression, and in some research even implies that it may help encourage the development of Alzheimer's disease. So when it comes to bodybuilding outcomes, and something I should note too, is when you use chronically THC every single day, what happens is your body ends up building up a tolerance to it, where you're gonna eventually need to use more and more to achieve the same decreased sleep latency. And if you stop using it, what happens is you have a brutal rebound of insomnia, like sleep deprivation, where you then are forced to go back to using it just to achieve a normal level of sleep latency that you would have otherwise not had, that you would have otherwise had if you were just healthy and not, using the THC every day to begin with. I'm not saying you're unhealthy if you use it, by the way. I'm just saying that you get to a point where you depend on it so much, and you may need to build up your dose too, that eventually if you try and get off of it, if you're using it every single day, you're going to probably have a pretty horrific rebound where you sleep like shit. And then it's gonna make you have to go back to use the THC in order to achieve a reasonable sleep latency and get a normal sleep duration. Again, all but while still having that impaired REM sleep. So it's from all aspects, unless you're using it very, very intermittently here and there, it's not good, in my opinion, for bodybuilding outcomes. How drastic of an impact is this gonna have? When you actually dig into the literature on REM sleep and how important it is, you'll see pretty quick that depriving yourself of that sleep stage is likely not going to be, negligible in terms of health outcomes. As far as how it impacts bodybuilding outcomes, if you're getting a sufficient amount of sleep duration and deep sleep with a relative lack of REM sleep, it's it plays a lot into your mindset though. If you have REM sleep deprivation, you start to notice it in your mood, how you react to things very blatantly. It has a very notable effect on how you react to emotionally to a lot of things in your life, and as well as just like basic being able to be intelligent and like retain fucking information in your head. There's a lot of things that come from REM sleep that can't just be glossed over. It's like, oh, it's this negligible portion of sleep that doesn't really matter for bodybuilding. I think it does matter for bodybuilding, and I think that smoking weed every night is going to have a negative effect on your bodybuilding progress. So if you're going to incorporate it, I would do it sporadically, like here and there, you know, as a recreational thing, maybe if you just like want to, or if you think it's gonna benefit you though, and you think you're getting better sleep outcomes because of it, it's either that you've built up a tolerance to it and you need it, or I should say dependence on it, or you're just like misconstruing the decrease in sleep latency as a benefit, when in reality, if you put on an Oura ring, it would be interesting to see what was your REM sleep prior to using it, and then what's your REM sleep duration when you're smoking weed every single night. That would be interesting to see if it's actually impacting you in a negative way or not. And I would recommend doing that if you're somebody who plans on using every single night, because that is going to be the only way you're going to determine if it's actually having a negative impact on you, is if you actually check your sleep metrics yourself. So, you know, how accurate is an Oura ring or a Whoop or whatever those things are for checking your metrics? I use an Oura ring personally. You know, it's up for interpretation, but I think it's at least worth checking, and if you're going to be doing this on a regular basis. So definitely something to keep note of. And in general, even if the Oura doesn't indicate a significant difference, like personally, I would just recommend being more, you know, intermittent with your use rather than using it on a full-time basis every single night. I think it is, the data in the literature does suggest that it's going to have a negative outcome on your sleep quality in the long run. So just keep that in mind. Thank you guys for watching. Please like, subscribe, check out my blog, moreplates.com. Follow me on Instagram at moreplates_moredates, Facebook, Snapchat, BitChute, Twitter, TikTok, Apple Podcasts. If you want to support the channel, you can check out anything I'm associated with in the video description down below. My TRT clinic, it's all telemedicine from the comfort of your own home, as well as Gorilla Mind, Gorilla Mode, my turnkey nootropic and pre-workout formulas I designed from scratch myself on a Word document. It's all made by me. We don't outsource anything to manufacturers to write up a formula that has high margins or anything like that. I literally write this stuff from scratch based on what I would want to see in a pre-workout myself, and as well as anything else I'm associated with. It's all in the video description down below. Thank you guys for watching. Talk to you soon.